I discovered my business account, drained my family, stole $75,000. The day before my wedding, my brother sneered, "Your fiancé is probably cheating anyway, who'd want a pathetic failure. Like you, we took what you owed us," my mother laughed, at least emptying. "Your account finally made you worth something," my father spat. "This is the only value you'll ever have funding our lives." I smiled and said, "Enjoy it while it lasts." That evening, I froze every asset, called in their debts, and reported the fraud today. They're drowning, screaming into my voicemail, "The bank is seizing everything, Mom's medication. We can't afford it, we'll lose the house, please." This was only phase 1. The real show hasn't even started yet, so I never thought I'd be writing one of these. But I guess everyone says that before their family does something completely unhinged, lol. Anyway, this actually started Wednesday night, not even the day of. I was up late, barely slept, mostly just running through its usual list of last-minute crap before the wedding. My fiancée, Annabelle, wanted me to check the tables one more time. She's a perfectionist about that stuff. I'm not. I figured I'd just get up early and swing by the hall in person, whatever, around 8 o'clock a.m. Thursday, I get this weird text from one of the rental guys about a payment failure. It wasn't even a red flag at first. I just thought maybe I typed the number wrong or the bank flagged it because it was a big charge, but then he calls, says the payment actually bounced, which made 0 sense because I know exactly what's in that account. I keep it pretty tight, never mix it with my personal, never let anyone else access it, just to keep my family from sniffing around. Yeah, there's a reason for that. More on that later. So I check the app just out of curiosity, and I see it's not just low, it's basically empty, except for some dust, like $75,000. Gone, not just some random charge, not a couple grand. I mean the whole thing. I'm sitting there staring at my phone in the parking lot, and I go through the last week in my head. Nothing weird, no big charges. Nobody else should have the info. I start checking the transaction list, and there's a bunch of transfers out, not even disguised, just straight up, sent out over the last 48 hours, all 2 names I know: Wanda, my mom, Dwayne, my brother, and Barry, my dad, all split up like they were making sure nobody noticed. If you didn't look close, thing is, this isn't the first time they've pulled something. Just not this big. Growing up, Dwayne always thought I was the favorite, which was honestly a joke, because it just meant he got stuck with their problems more often. Whenever something broke or someone needed bailing out, guess who got called? They always wanted to remind me I owed them for every little thing, even stuff like, "Oh, you ate too much at dinner in high school, so you can pay the electric bill now." Nobody ever really talked about it, but it was always their dad used to say. I was only good for covering the tab. Dwayne's been bitter since he didn't get into college, and I did. Mom always took his side, just easier for her that way. But this was a new level. I called Dwayne first, 'cause his name's on the biggest transfer, and he picks up sounding like he's half awake. I ask what's going on, and he just laughs. Says something about, "Guess you should have kept a better lock on your stuff." I tell him it's not funny, that was for the wedding and the business, and he just starts in with the old line, "Oh, Annabelle probably found someone better. She's always out of my league." I'm a pathetic failure anyway, and now I finally paid them what I've same crap as always, just nastier that he's got my money. I don't even bother arguing, just hang up and drive over to my parents' place. I'm not even thinking about what I'm going to say. I just want to see their faces and hear it straight. Wanda answers the door, doesn't even look surprised, just acts like she's busy in the kitchen, tells me to take off my shoes before I come in, like nothing's wrong. I go in. Barry's sitting at the table, scrolling his phone. Dwayne's already there too, eating cereal, doesn't even look up. I ask them straight up where my money is. Nobody even pretends to be confused. Wanda just says, "It's about time I did something useful, and at least now emptying your account finally made you worth something." Dwayne chokes on his cereal, laughing, says he hopes Annabelle dumps me, 'cause who'd want a loser like you anyway, Barry? just spits out that this is the only value you'll ever have funding our lives like. I'm just their personal ATM. I don't know what I was expecting. But not that I kind of just stare at them for a second, and Wanda shrugs, says, I shouldn't act so surprised they raised me. Didn't they all three of them just sitting there like it's a joke? So I lose it a bit. I'm not proud of it, but I shove Dwayne so hard his cereal spills everywhere. He jumps up, tries to shove me back. We're yelling moms, telling us both to grow up. Barry finally stands up and slams his chair into the wall, says, he's sick of the drama. I tell them if they think this is the end of it, they're dumber than... I thought Wanda just laughs and says, I'll get over it, like I always do. Dwayne's got this ugly little smirk. Barry tells me to get out unless... I'm going to pay for lunch too. I just tell them to enjoy it while it lasts and walk out. I can hear Wanda slam the door behind me, which is honestly the most effort she's put into anything in years. The whole drive back, I'm just running through every time they've pulled this crap. It's always been like this whenever I get even a little bit ahead, they find a way to drag me back down. Dwayne always needed to prove he was better, or at least that I was worse. Wanda wanted things nice and easy, and I was the easy one to guilt. Barry just wanted someone to blame for everything he hated about his own life. They never saw me as a person, just a backup plan. I get home, Annabelle's texting me about the florist. She has no idea any of this is going on. I want to tell her, but I can't, not yet. I'm not letting this ruin her day, or mine, or the wedding. I know I should be freaking out, but honestly, I'm just mad like all the way past. Sad or disappointed, just done. I'm not a kid anymore, and I'm not going to play their game. They want to treat me like a walking wallet. Fine, but it's the last time. I've got a plan. I'm not sharing details here yet, but if you want an update, let me. No, I'm not letting them get away with it. They can laugh now, but I promise you they're not going to be laughing for long. Update 1. So I guess the first weird thing was when I woke up the next morning and saw Dwayne had posted some dumb meme about easy money with a pile of cash as his story on his Insta. Not even subtle. I didn't like it, but honestly, I was so tired from the night before, I just screenshotted it and moved on. At this point, I'd already decided I wasn't giving them space to screw me again, so I went full-on DEFCON mode. Got my phone started, making calls, didn't even eat breakfast first thing. I locked every asset with my name on it. Doesn't matter if it was joint or just me. I went through every single app, every bank. Every account, changed password, froze outgoing payments. I called the bank, explained what happened, left out some details. Just said there were transfers I never authorized. They gave me the usual, "we'll look into it" speech. I wasn't expecting a miracle. I just wanted to make sure nothing else could disappear before I figured out my next step. Then I started thinking about all the stuff I'd paid for in the last year, stuff I'd covered for the family because they always said they'd pay me back. I'd even floated Dwayne for his phone bill for like 4 months, and Wanda's always had me on her emergency contact for her meds. Just in case, I figured, why make it easy for them? So I went on the medical portal, updated my info so I wouldn't get calls about her prescription, called the pharmacy, told them I wasn't paying for anything unless I signed off. Not illegal, just not my problem anymore. I texted a couple of their mutuals, not even close friends, just people who always end up in group chats. You know who I mean, and let it slip that I wasn't covering for my folks anymore. Didn't say why, just that I was out. Let them ask questions. You could feel the ripples starting, like people don't want to get stuck with Sumi and Elsa's tab. I saw a bunch of their Facebook friends start pulling back to less likes. No more cheery comments. Wanda called me twice that morning, straight to voicemail, not even a text by lunch. Dwayne called, not even pretending to be chill, just wanted to know if I'd fixed the account yet, because he's got stuff to do. I told him to figure it out himself, hung up. When he started in with the insults 10 minutes later, he texted me a pic of his bank app balance at 0, like it's my fault. I just sent a thumbs up, he called. Again, I let it ring. I got 3. More calls from Wanda, one from Barry. Ignored them all. So yeah, next up. I started making a list of every debt, every little thing I'd let slide over the years. There's more than. I thought like I forgot I paid for Dwayne's car repairs last summer, or when I bailed them out after their water got shut off. I wrote it all out in my notes app, started texting reminders to each of them. Nothing dramatic. Just, hey, you still owe me for this, let me know when you're ready to settle up. You could practically hear them grinding their teeth through the phone Wanda sent me. A string of crying emoji, Dwayne told me. He'd pay me when hell freezes over. Barry didn't reply at all. I called a couple of places where I was listed as reference or secondary on their stuff. Utilities landlord's cell plant told them I wasn't responsible for any charges or bills. Take my name off. No drama, no yelling, just business. Kind of satisfying. Honestly, meanwhile, I'm still trying to keep it together for the wedding. Annabelle's mom shows up with a box of decoration. Asks if everything's okay, because I'm apparently walking around like I want to punch a wall. I tell her I'm just stressed about the wedding, which isn't even a lie, just not the whole story. Annabelle's texting me every hour, wants to know why I keep checking my phone, but I don't want to dump this on her the day before. I'm not that guy. The real fun started that night. Wanda calls, doesn't even say hi, just starts yelling about how the pharmacy says her prescription won't go through unless someone pays up front and she can't get their meds. I told her to ask Barry because I'm not her bank. She hung up. Dwayne texts me that he can't use his card at the gas station, says I ruined everything. I sent him a screenshot of his own meme from earlier. No caption. He blocked me. Barry actually showed up at my apartment around 8 p.m. Didn't call, didn't knock, just pounded on the door until I opened it. He tried to push his way in. I blocked him. He shoved me. I shoved him back. He started going off about family duty and how I was letting everyone down, how I was turning my back in blood. I told him to get lost. He slapped the doorframe and muttered something about how I'd regret this. I shut the door in his face. He kicked the trash can on his way out. Later that night, I checked my phone and saw like 11 missed calls from all three of them, plus 2 voicemails from Wanda, both just her crying and gasping about how I'm putting her in the hospital. Dwayne sent me a long message about how I was always the golden boy, and now I was showing my true colors, whatever that means. Barry sent a single word: traitor. I started to feel a little weird about it, but then I remembered how they were laughing in my face less than 24 hours before. I'm not doing this for drama. I just want them to finally get it. I'm not their safety net. I'm not their piggy bank. I'm not their emotional punching bag. Friday morning, still not a word from any of them except for Wanda's I need my pills texts and Dwayne's threats about coming over. I locked my door, kept my phone on silent, went to get coffee with my buddy Colby. He gets it. His own family's a circus too. I told him the basics. He shook his head and said I was finally growing a spine. I laughed, but honestly, it felt like the first time in a while I was actually doing something for myself. So yeah, that's where things are at now. My family's losing their minds. I'm not backing down. And honestly, I'm just getting started. If they think this is the worst it gets, they're about to find out. I'm done being the nice guy. Let me know if you want another update. I've got more moves lined up, and I'm not stopping until they learn I'm not the same pushover they raised. Update to so I didn't even mention the weirdest part yet. Wanda actually tried to tag me in a Facebook post about family loyalty kids these days, forgetting who raised them right after all the money stuff went down. Like, not even subtle. I didn't respond, just let it hang there. The comments were all her friends saying things like, hang in there, and kids are selfish now. I didn't bother jumping in, but it set the tone for what came next. I guess the first real sign things were getting bad for them was Dwayne blowing up my phone Saturday morning. Not just texts, like actual calls, which is rare for him unless he wants something. He started out all pissed, saying I'd ruined his weekend and he couldn't pay his phone bill now. Then switched to blaming Wanda for making it about her again. Apparently, she'd gone to their Aunt Tracy, crying about how I was abandoning her. Tracy sent me a long FB message asking what was actually going on, and if I needed to cool down. I told her straight up that they stole 75 grand from me and I wasn't paying for anything for them ever again. She didn't reply for a while, then just said she hopes we work it out. Yeah, sure. Then I start getting messages from old family friends, people I only see at funerals or whatever, asking if the rumors about me stealing from my own parents are true. Wanda must have spun some wild story because the way they're talking, you'd think I'd robbed her at gunpoint. I just kept answering with one line, ask them where'th money went. That shut most of them up, but it was annoying as hell. People love gossip more than facts. Meanwhile, Annabelle finally notices that all my group chats with her family are on mute and asks if my mom's still mad about the wedding catering. I almost laugh. I just say family's complicated. She shrugs, drops it. She's got her own drama with her cousin's breakup, so she's not pressing, but you can tell she knows something's up. Just maybe not how deep it goes. I'm not hiding it forever. I'm just not letting my family mess up her family's vibe. So around noon, Dwayne shows up at my apartment, doesn't text, just buzzes. Until I open, he's all wound up, says Wanda's crying nonstop, and Barry's breaking stuff in the garage. He's convinced I'm going to ruin their lives if I don't fix it. I tell him they did this to themselves, and he throws his phone at the wall, which bounces, hits the door. I tell him if he breaks anything else he's paying for. He tries to shove me. I push back. He swings at me, just grazes my shoulder. I shove him toward the door. Tell him he's not welcome. Heckles me. A selfish jerk storms out, slams the door so hard a picture falls off the wall. I pick it up, toss it on the couch, not even mad, just tired after that. Wanda starts with the guilt trip texts. She sends a selfie of her holding an empty pill bottle, like I'm supposed to drop everything and run to the pharmacy. I just reply, ask her if she still has my money. She doesn't answer for an hour, then sends a sad face emoji. I block her for the day. Barry tries calling, doesn't leave a message. Tracy calls me, says I'm making a scene. I laugh, ask her if she's covering their rent this month. She hangs up by Monday. The fallout starts really showing. Got a call from the landlord at their building, says their payment bounced, and Wanda gave him my number as a backup. I say no, not my problem, he says. He's giving them until Friday, then it's late fees. Dwayne's ex texts me, says he tried to borrow money from her, told Harry froze the whole family out. She asks if I think he'll pay her back if she helps. I tell her honestly, probably not. She thanks me, blocks him. Wanda's bridge club friend, Lorraine, messages me on Facebook, says Wanda's not answering her calls and is too embarrassed to show her face. I just say, maybe she should ask Wanda. Why then log off? It's wild how fast people stop reaching out once you stop being the reliable one. I'm not even sad. Just sort of amazed at how quick it all flips. Barry apparently tried to pawn a watch EBI him for his birthday a few years ago. My cousin texts me a pic of it at the shop. I just sent back. Enjoy it. I don't care. The real kicker was the banking stuff. I got a letter, actual mail, not email, saying there were irregularities on a couple joint accounts from years ago when I was still helping them out. Nothing illegal, just notice that any shared funds are now frozen until the mess is sorted. I text Wanda, tell her to stop trying to access anything with my name on it. She replies with one word, why I ignore her. Annabelle's mom corners me at the rehearsal dinner. Says my mom called her crying about how I'm shutting out the family and asks if we still need a ride to the airport for the honeymoon. I say we're fine, but thanks. She gives me a look like she's about to say something, then just squeezes my shoulder and walks off. I guess she knows better than to get in the middle. The next day, I get a string of voicemails. Wanda sobbing about her meds and how she has nothing left. Dwayne yelling about how he's done with all of us, and Barry just breathing heavy. Than hanging up. No actual apology, no owning up. Just more drama. By Wednesday, Tracy messages again, saying she's worried about Wanda's health and can't. I just be the bigger person, I reply, that I've been the bigger person for 30 years, so maybe it's their turn. She just says she's sorry. I feel that way, whatever I started telling. A few people the real story when they asked, nothing dramatic, just the facts. Some believe me, some don't. My cousin Barry, yeah, same name as my dad, thanks family, actually said he always figured something was off with the way they treated me, but wasn't. My business? I said. Well, it is now the only one I haven't heard from, is Barry, my dad, except for a voicemail where he just says, "You'll regret this." And then, silence. Classic. So yeah, I'm not even close to done. They wanted to squeeze me for every dime. Now the squeeze is on them. I'm not bailing them out, not this time. Not ever. It's kind of wild how fast all their friends and supporters disappear. When the money dries up, I'm not sorry, I'm just getting started. If you're still reading, thanks. I'll up to Tiefter, the wedding's over. Or if they try anything wild, trust me, they're not out of tricks, and neither am I. Final update. Alright, so it's been a minute, but I said I'd come back with the aftermath. Honestly, didn't think it would get this messy, but here we are, I guess. I should have expected it. Nothing with these people's ever straight lines or clean breaks. First weird thing, Wanda posted this long dramatic Facebook status about life storms and family turning on you for money, and she tagged like 6 people. But not me. Dwayne reshared it with that fake deep quote about snakes in the grass, and Barry left some passive-aggressive comment about real men take care of their parents. I didn't even read the whole thing, just scrolled past, but it set the tone like they weren't even trying to fix anything. Just start a pity parade. Classic. I started getting voicemails daily. Wanda's crying, Dwayne's cussing, Barry's silent except for one, where you can just hear him banging something around. Tracy calls and says Wanda hasn't left the house in days, and can I please just let it go? Family's family. I tell her if she wants to help so bad she can pay their rent. She hangs up. The bank stuff blew up way faster than I thought. Guess when you freeze everything and stop paying, the dominoes fall quick. Wanda texts me this novel about how the bank is seizing everything and she can't afford her medication. Dwayne leaves a voicemail yelling that he's going to sue me, says I ruined his life and now his car is getting repoed. Barry tries to show up at my place again, but I don't answer the door. He stands there banging for a couple minutes, then goes quiet. I check the peephole, and he's just sitting on the steps, head and hands. Then finally just gets up and kicks the mailbox. Didn't even bother calling. After I heard from a neighbor that Wanda tried selling jewelry to make rent, but the pawn shop didn't give her mud. Dwayne apparently tried to borrow money from Tracy, got told to get a job instead, I guess. Barry's been trying to get a loan off people at his bowling league, but nobody's biting. A few of their friends unfriended me on Facebook, but honestly, I didn't care. Most of them just shared Wanda's post and moved on. Annabelle finally asked what was up when she saw me ignoring a call from Wanda, and I told her the whole thing. She just sat there quiet for a sec, then asked if I was okay. I said, yeah, I'm fine, just tired of being a doormat. She hugged me, said she was proud. I finally stood up for myself. We both laughed about how we'd probably get hate mail from Wanda for the next 10 years. But whatever, the wedding actually went fine. No drama from my side because nobody showed Wanda sent a text during ceremony. Couldn't even make it through one day, but I just muted my phone and kept going. Annabelle's family danced until midnight. I ended up playing Mario Kart with her little cousins in the lobby. Best night I've had in a long time, right after the honeymoon. I came home to more voicemails. Wanda sobbing about the house. Dwayne threatening to go public, lol, with what Barry just grunting. Tracy called, said maybe it was time to be the bigger man and move on. I told her I had moved on, and so should they, I guess. The real moment it hit that all this was permanent was when Wanda tried one more time to guilt me into helping. She sent me a photo of her old wedding dress, said she'd have to sell it just to stay afloat. I just replied, hope it's worth more than you ever gave me. She didn't answer, so yeah, now it's just over. I guess they lost the house, moved into a smaller rental. Dwayne's living with some guy from work. Complains on Facebook daily. Barry doesn't even bother calling anymore. I get the occasional guilt text from Wanda, but I just ignore them or block the number if she gets to wild hears. The thing I know, there's people reading this who probably think I went too hard or I should have just let it go. But nobody lived in my shoes for 30+ years. They never saw me as a person, just a wallet with legs. Every time I got ahead, they dragged me back. They made it clear that I was only valuable for what I could give, and when I stopped giving, they finally had to figure it out themselves. I'm not sorry. I still get weird looks at the grocery store sometimes, or a random Facebook message from someone who heard Wanda's side and thinks I'm the devil, honestly. I'd rather be hated for having boundaries than loved for being a doormat. The last message I got from Barry just said, "Don't come back. I won't." Final note, if you're reading this and thinking about drawing a line with your own toxic, it's family. Yeah, it's messy, it's awkward, people will pick sides. You might lose more than you expected, but you also get to stop living for people who'd never do the same for you. I'm not giving them a second chance. They had plenty. Thanks for sticking with my mess. If anything changes, I'll update. But for now, I'm out.